Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the week of October 20th. This week, we are going to jump right in here. You have this change card and this patience card. I feel like you're asking, why something is happening now. It's like sometimes I think we work towards something and it takes a really long time to, accomplish whatever we're trying to accomplish. Clearly, for you, it could be some sort of change. And, you could be, asking yourself, why couldn't I, get this done when I was younger or something like that? And, I feel that some of you could be kind of, thinking that for some reason. And like I said, it could be a change. I do also feel that something you've been patiently waiting for is happening. You have the Chariot right there. If we started with some other random ass card that wasn't the Chariot, I would be okay, maybe you're still waiting. But the Chariot is very good, I feel, in this situation because the Chariot kind of represents something happening quickly or having a victory, Taurus. So I feel a lot of you, it's like something is happening that you have been very patient for. Kind of makes sense. Next month, as I've been saying, we have Uranus kind of retrograding back into your sign in November. It's retrograde in Gemini right now, but next month it'll be in your sign. And so for you, it's all about setting yourself free, as I always say to you. So the Chariot, he is setting himself free from the expectations of this city behind him. The city behind him represents just how things have always been. Everything is the same. All the rules and regulations are the same in that city. And he wants to set himself apart, and he kind of wants to go explore and do his own thing. And he's also in alignment with something different in life. He has these stars right here, these moons right here. It's like as above, so below. But I feel for you, Taurus, it's like it's almost like maybe the change hasn't exactly happened yet, but it's about to, because you're in alignment with a change, and you're starting to pull away from whatever you're not in alignment with. So I really feel the whole entire reading is kind of talking about your alignment with your goals or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. And like I said, it makes a lot of sense with your astrology and everything that's going on right now. I do feel like, again, things are going to be moving pretty quick here for you, so I do like that. You have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands says, do not give up. I think you have been very patient, and I feel like you haven't given up. So, probably a good thing. Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior. He's been on a long journey. But, it kind of feels like this is a long-awaited break that's coming in for you. Now, are you really taking a break? I would say maybe not this second, but as we move into the end of the year, I feel you'll have an opportunity to kind of take a break, right, in your life. And but I would encourage you with the Chariot. Well, let me just say this. The thing about the Chariot is we have to go past the finish line. We can't celebrate too soon with the Chariot, and we have to make sure that we really cement a victory in reality. I'm sure I always bring up, and probably to you, Taurus, because this is your astrology right now, at least I feel. I'm sure you've all seen those videos where someone is winning a race and they celebrate and then they fall and someone else wins the race because they celebrated too soon, right? And so this energy in your first row is saying if you have something that's a victory, keep the momentum going. Don't have some sort of big business win and then go on a 6-month vacation, right? That doesn't mean you can't take a 6-month vacation. It just is saying right now, this second, you should be keeping the momentum going and making sure that you're doing the things that created the success in the first place. You have the Eight of Swords. Again, freedom, right? Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction, but everything about your astrology is all about setting yourself free. I feel like you've been given some tastes of freedom over the past maybe year or so, where it's it's almost like I see you having these glimpses of a better reality. You have the Nine of Pentacles here. Nine of Pentacles is like heaven on earth. So is the Hierophant, which is your card. We'll talk about that more in a second, but it's I think life hasn't been exactly perfect, but it's you see these little things that happen in your life that maybe you didn't think you would ever be able to do something, right? It's sometimes I think the universe gives us a little appetizer, right? A little bit of a something in our lives. I'm struggling for an example here, Taurus, because you're all different. But it's if you want money, it's yeah, maybe you haven't been rich, but it's maybe over the last year or so you did make a little bit of money, and it's almost like you're getting the appetizer from the universe. And I feel like the universe is trying to be listen, you want more of this. You want the full 6-course meal. So you need to make that happen. And, that's really what I feel on that Eight of Swords, where it's like you don't have it yet, but I also feel that you're seeing how things are possible. With the Chariot, you have the Star card. Yeah, damn. Really good. You have the Star and the Sun. I like the Star and the Sun, Star and you end with the Sun here in a reading because the two together kind of represent fame and fortune. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to become famous, but, it's very good for standing out, very good for getting attention. We're in a time of attention. I tell everybody they should be getting as much attention as they possibly can. The Star is also about having that North Star goal, that you want to achieve. With the Nine of Wands, yeah, a little bit of optimism. Like I said, the appetizer. That's what I want to call this reading, is like the appetizer, because, the Page of Wands, he is enthusiastic about his journey. He just is excited by something. And, that's exactly what I was basically trying to describe, is that it seems to me like you're maybe getting excited about something this week. And, it's not like the full meal, like I said, but you could probably go on the journey to create that full meal. And that's how I feel. Here I am talking to Taurus about food. Of course I am, right? With the Eight of Swords, you have the Emperor. Yeah, the Emperor is about taking control, taking lead. Yeah, it's like, I think that there are parts, like, Hierophant, basically, which is your card. So it is good when you show up as yourself, but the problem with the Hierophant is that he might be a little bit too stuck in his past life. It's like the Chariot even is kind of saying to me, there are some new rules that you have to follow. It's like, obviously, you are going to have to create some changes to create a better life. It's like if you have bad habits, which we all do, if you have any money blocks or any other blockages, you're going to have to take control and eliminate those things to kind of create this new reality. But I think you can do it. And, I really feel the Emperor could be a person for some of you, but I also really feel the Emperor in this reading is talking about you taking control. He is taking control of his situation. Next, in the area of the good stuff, or what's coming in for you, you have this receive card and this closure card. I mean, some of you could be getting closure on something. We have Mercury retrograde coming up next month as well. We have a billion other retrogrades going on right now, again, still. So, I don't know, whenever there's a bunch of retrogrades, we kind of can definitely, get closure on past situations. We could be creating our own closure as well. So that's possible. I definitely feel you need to be more open to receive, and we'll talk about that. You have the Hierophant, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. The Hierophant, of course, is you showing up in a very strong position. So whenever you show up as yourself, puts you in a position of power and strength. The Hierophant communicates with heaven and earth. So he is kind of like heaven on earth. Technically, Nine of Pentacles is the card of creating heaven on earth, and we'll talk about that in a second. But he has the vision. He can bring it down to earth if he chooses, right? And so I would be making sure that you're doing things to create heaven on earth. I feel there are a lot of moving parts to this Hierophant. And like I said, I feel like if you want to make more money, there are parts that you have to change in your life. Like maybe you have to be more responsible. Maybe you have to practice manifestation. Maybe you have to, remove money blocks. And also maybe you need to change your mindset. There are 4 things. There could be more for some of you, but it's I think alignment is the answer with that Chariot, right? This is why people always ask me I'm really bad with money and I can never manifest money. I'm like, yeah, of course not. You're not. Look at the words that you are using right now. It's I think the problem with manifestation is, number one, I'm not so sure that it's necessarily magical, but number two, it's we have to create the environment. Nine of Pentacles. It's you can't just think about money and get it, right? You have to. There are things that people who have money do. And you have to do those things that people who have money do, right? They have good money habits for the most part. Maybe they start a business, so maybe you need to start a business, or maybe you need to start investing or learn about it, right? But it's you can't get from just having no money and thinking about money to having money, right? There's something in between. And the beautiful thing is the Hierophant is a teacher, so I feel that you have the ability to learn that in-between part. You have the ability to learn this right here, Taurus. And I think it's about damn time is what I want to say to Taurus, that you kind of get this life that you're trying to create. Nine of Pentacles, like I said, is about creating heaven on earth. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're definitely going to have it, but she is creating an environment of success for herself. Number one, she has these 3 pentacles here, these 6 pentacles over here. She's willing to give 3 pentacles to anything in her life, and she always keeps more than enough for herself. So she practices not overgiving. She has this falcon right here, which represents focus. She's like focusing on what she wants, not on what she doesn't want. She also has this snail right here, which is about creating an environment of success around you, changing the energy around you so that you can be more successful and, doing the things that actually lead to a result. I feel as long as you pay attention to that, and again, I don't think you have to be perfect, by the way, either, but I think if you're just like 51% to the side of wealth, then literally you could be changing your wealth here, which is great. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like I don't have a appropriate way to say this to you, Taurus. It's like a get over yourself energy. I feel like Taurus can handle me saying that. So the Knight of Pentacles, he knows what to do. He's just not doing it. He is he can represent progress, and there's clearly a lot of progress that you could be making, at the end of the year here, especially this week or starting this week. I kind of feel this week might be the start of progress for you, but he's like overthinking getting started on something. And I feel that a little bit for you, Taurus. It's like, you know what to do. And if you would just do it, you know the changes to make. You know what's not good for you. If you would just make those changes and, kind of be decisive in that way, then I feel this would probably happen faster. Although I think it's happening. So I'm not too worried about it. I just said the word decisive, and you have the Ace of Swords with the Hierophant. Ace of Swords is victory, success, so you have a lot of cards of victory here, which is great. But the Ace of Swords is a laser-like focus. It's exactly focusing on exactly what you want in life and nothing else. So you become blind to, the things that you don't want. And I feel as scary as that is, like if you do that, because our brains are trained to focus on the negative, of course. I feel if you do that, things could go very, very well. Again, also focusing on creating heaven on earth, could be the thing that makes it happen. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the 3 of Swords, which you have twice here, going this direction. It could be a little bit of worry. A lot of people have been getting the 3 of Swords right now. I will say that it is kind of karmic. We have the North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo, which I think can bring up karmic issues, but not even with just people. It can just be like past hurts. If you did something, if you failed when you were 4 years old, you could be thinking about that right now. And so the 3 of Swords is about practicing forgiveness. Sometimes, Knight of Pentacles, very independent card. And so the reading itself could be saying, forgive yourself. It's funny, at the beginning of the reading, I said that it's almost like you're saying to yourself, why is this happening now? Like, why could, I think I literally said that. Like, why couldn't you do something when you were younger? I said that because you have the 6 of Cups in your next row. But again, maybe that's what you have to forgive yourself for. And, the 3 of Swords, we have to remove those swords from our own heart so that we can have an open heart, so that we can be successful in life. And, that's what I would be kind of focusing on here. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Devil. Yeah, the whole entire reading, we've been talking about blockages. The Devil is just an energy vampire, and it doesn't have to be a person. It could be a person, place, thing, habit, a bad behavior, whatever. And, we just have to set ourselves free from those things that sometimes I feel the Devil is basically saying that there are things we do to try to protect ourselves, even though it's not protecting us, right? So it's like, for example, some people stay making the same amount of money. It's like they've studied this. People who make $50,000 a year, there was a study where people making $50,000 a year, if they then make like $100,000 a year, they will do things in their life to bring themselves down to $50,000 a year. So it's like they still might be making $100,000 a year, but for example, maybe they'll go buy an expensive car that brings their actual earnings down to that $50,000 a year level. So they never really get ahead, right? And the Devil is kind of about ending those habits, or looking at your life and saying, like, what am I doing to kind of prevent myself from getting to that next level because it's scary? And I think that's what Taurus needs to think about right now. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Courthouse. It says, all legal matters, dispute contracts, important decisions, balance needed, discoveries, assessment, and taxes. You have this Murky Thoughts. It says worry, doubt, pessimism, lost hope, insecurity, confusion, lack of focus, depression, uncertainty, and concern. Yes, I think you need to get out of your head. This is like imposter syndrome, that Murky Thoughts card for you, Taurus. it's like, like sometimes I think maybe the readings for Taurus are trying to say like, you're not doing anything wrong. I feel that some of you, it's like there's a little bit, I don't even know what to call that, but like I've definitely met people in my life where it's like they are scared of success in a different way, where it's like they almost feel like they're doing something wrong by being successful. I feel like that's what this card is saying, is like you're not doing anything wrong by standing out. You're not doing anything wrong by being successful at whatever you do. And I don't know, that's what I feel intuitively. I definitely feel this card is talking about balance. You have the Six of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Three of Swords. Six of Cups can be a gift from the universe, and it can be a turnaround. We've been talking about you getting out of the bullpen for a couple weeks now, because that's kind of like the time we're in for Taurus. They need to, flip that pen over their back and be able to run around the fields, right? And so the Six of Cups, it can represent, innocence, nostalgia of the past, things like that, but it's also a gift from the universe. And usually the gift we receive from this card is being set free. I almost feel like Taurus, but again, this is a good card, but I feel like Taurus does need to set themselves free. It's funny that I also said like when you were 4 years old. It's like those are the things that you need to set yourself free from, is like those old beliefs and, very Taurus thing to be doing right now. You have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups could be a knight in shining armor. There's like a little bit of love. I wouldn't really call this a love reading, but, if you want it, definitely available to you. It's a very dreamy reading. Chariot, Star, Sun, this card, Ace of Swords, Hierophant, Nine of Pentacles, right? They're, all talking about your dream. The Knight of Cups, is standing in the desert, but he has this water flowing in front of him. So he might think that nothing can grow, but if he plants seeds in front of that water, they will grow. So I do feel this is saying, it's like time to get over that imposter syndrome or that punishment syndrome. Maybe we need to come up with a new word. It's like punishment syndrome, where you feel like if you do something, you're going to be punished, or, maybe you feel like you're doing something wrong when you aren't. And it's like, who says that anyway? I always say this. I teach YouTube on the weekends, and it's like so many times I'll tell people, I'll be like, you should position your video this way. And, they'll be like, oh, but isn't that clickbait? Isn't that this? I'm like, no. It's like your job on YouTube is to get as much attention as you possibly can. Number one. Number two, you're not doing anything wrong. Like I see this all the time, where it's like people think they're doing something wrong, and I'm like, yeah, but your information matches what I just told you to do. You're not doing anything sneaky. And you know what I mean? It's like I think some of you are maybe being too good or something. I don't know. You tell me. I forgot to say, leave me a comment. Comment really helps me out. So, let me know in the comments. You have the Three of Swords again. So again, like everybody's been getting the Three of Swords lately. I think we're in a time where we have to forgive ourselves. And I also think we're in a time where we have to heal something, everybody. So I would, whatever you feel like you need to heal, I would heal it. There's a million things you probably could do to heal pretty much anything. I mean, there are 6 bajillion videos on YouTube about every single thing that you could possibly imagine. So, go find some sort of healing and do it. With the Six of Cups, you have the Two of Pentacles. Yes, getting to work, basically. It's funny that card said balance. The courthouse card, it basically said balance needed. Two of Pentacles is about balancing work and play, balancing your life out in that way. Six of Cups would represent needing to have more fun, needing to not take things too seriously. I do think we're in a very serious time. It's kind of like hard to not be serious right now because the energy is very serious. And trust me, every time I say this, I get plenty of comments from people that are like, but I have to take all these things very seriously. I'm like, yeah, but can you control those things? And if the answer is yes, great, take it seriously and do something about it. But if there are things that you can't control, then is there a point in taking it seriously? Or would it be better for you to create some sort of improvement in your life? And, that's what I feel this is asking. With this Knight of Cups, you have the Ace of Wands. Yeah, bunch of aces, which is good. Or 2 aces. So the Ace of Wands can be out with the old and with the new. Yeah, definitely time for you to escape that Taurus prison. Ace of Wands is about creativity. I think it's an excellent time for creativity for Taurus. Like if you're wanting to do something creative or work on a creative project, definitely a very good time for that with this card. With the Three of Swords, you have the Eight of Swords again. So this is probably how you will escape the bullpen, is through healing or through, getting rid of some sort of like limitation. I almost feel like it's a protection. Like I said, sometimes I think we do create limitations out of protection. Like we're trying to protect ourselves from whatever, something invisible. And, I feel that's what you could be healing. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this new love card. It says, new romantic relationship is unfolding that will be deeply meaningful to you. There you go. You have this Taurus card. It says, perseverance. It says, remember, slow and steady wins the race. Awaken your inner bull to give you patience. We started with a patience card. We're ending with a patience card. I feel you have been patient. And, I feel that. But, again, I kind of get more of that feeling of needing to go past the finish line. Needing to keep the momentum going here would be a good idea. You have the Five of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, and the Sun. Again, Five of Pentacles and the good stuff would be pretty good because, we've been talking about you needing to feel like you are good enough. And so a lot of you could finally be getting to a place where you're saying to yourself, I'm good enough. I can handle this. I can, do these things that I need to do in my life or whatever. So, I do feel a lot of you could be getting to that point where you are saying, like, I'm good enough. I can do this. So, yeah, I don't hate that at all. You have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is about taking the lead. Emperor energy. Next year, we're going to have Saturn and Neptune move back into Aries. Definitely, I think this is going to be a time where people are going to have to take the lead. And it's like, to use a cliche here, Taurus, we have to be the change we want to see in the world. And, like, no one's coming to save us, right? And so I think that that's the only way we're going to not be taken over by robots is if we, kind of create the change we want to see in the world, if we become the thing we want to be. And I don't know. I really don't want like Mark Zuckerberg living in my head in some sort of, when they implant something, or any of these other weird nerd billionaires that like do weird stuff that want robot girlfriends. I just don't want it, right? So I don't know. This is why I preach this stuff, because I think we're at a point, like a tipping point where we have to make that decision. And so there you go. I'm crazy. There you go. You all know that. You have the Sun. The Sun is happiness, joy, peace. Yes, focusing more on happiness, joy, peace, love, good energies is going to bring good things. I really feel this is about your attention. It's like the more you can just pay attention to, or put your attention on what you want, the better. And that's what I would do with the Sun, plain and simple. Let's see where this is going. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Five of Cups. Again, pretty good because it's coming up in the good stuff. And it would say that you will not regret making these changes that you're making at this time. And I feel the Five of Cups also saying like you're not out of time. It's like he has regrets, but, he can still create change. Remember what I was saying at the beginning of the reading? It's like, why couldn't I do this sooner? I think that might be part of the question that you're asking yourself. But it's like you still have time to create changes. Doesn't matter how old you are. With the Two of Wands, you have the Queen of Cups. Of course, every single reading I do for you, Taurus, I might as well start calling this card Taurus because you get this card every reading. It is a card of following your heart. This is why you have to heal your heart so that you can follow your heart. And, again, Uranus and Taurus is very heart-based. Neptune and Pisces. Neptune is retrograding to Pisces today, October 14th. So this video will be published on the 15th. And, Neptune will be entering back into Pisces. Very heart-based energy. And so anything you can do to heal your heart so that you can listen to it would be good. With the Sun, you have the Four of Cups. Yes, you will not be disappointed. He is fearing disappointment, but he's getting an opportunity where he could apply what he learned from these three cups to this one cup, and he would be successful. So, I think it's time to apply what you've learned to this cup so that you can be a success in your life. I also think it's coming up in the good stuff, so clearly there's like something good coming in for you here, Taurus, and yeah, it looks really, really good to me. So there you go. You have this Vine card. It says, seek out information that will help you. Yeah, learn with the Hierophant, right? He is the teacher. You are the Hierophant, but, there still could be some things that you could learn at this time that would bring a lot of success. You have this Wreath card. It says, sorrow over loss. All the past losses, all the past things. Again, I see this in your chart, Taurus, for the astrology, that, you're definitely in a time, and maybe you have been for a few years, where it's like you're clearing up past issues, past karmic issues. This could be with family, friends, lovers, businesses that failed, ideas in your life that failed. And, I kind of feel this is a long-term it's not a transit, but a long-term energy that Taurus is dealing with. You have this older man. It says dealings or relationships with an older man. You have this carriage. It says a journey, either physical or mental. Some of you could be attracting someone who's older than you. But, I also think travel, you have the chariot and the two of wands. So travel could be good, but this could also just be you making moves at this time, which I also think would be really good. These two wanted to come out together. You have this dog barking. It says advice from a friend. You have the star. It says guaranteed success. So there you go. Learning from a person that you look up to, or, learning from mentor. I'm kind of cheating because, really based off of what I see just in general, I think we're in the time of the mentor where it's like really, if we can go out and learn, then, that's like the secret sauce. I'll tell you all what the real secret sauce is right now. The real secret sauce for everyone is Uranus and Gemini. I would go out and learn from multiple different things, multiple people, and then I would mix all that together. Gemini is idea sex. It's two ideas coming together. Again, obviously I don't know what all of you do, but I talk about this a lot because it's like critically important. If you can take like one person's idea and another person's idea for your life or a business you're starting or a relationship or whatever, if you can mix those ideas together, it's like that intersection is genius with Uranus and Gemini. And so that's what I would be learning from multiple people. You have this bow. It says you are highly thought of. Sun, star, definitely. So yes, but this looks really good here, Taurus. So thank you for being here. Make sure to like, leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your week.